This video is proudly sponsored by Gamersgate. Download games anytime, anywhere. Visit Gamersgate.com.
It is without a doubt that World War II, particularly the Eastern Front, has been a popular setting for first-person shooters within the last decade. The most notable game in the genre would be Call of Duty, which pioneered a new and fresh method of telling the story of the war from multiple perspectives. Recently, gamers have grown tired of World War II, and first-person shooters portraying modern conflicts has become the new norm. Tripwire Interactive deviates from this trend by bringing players back to the ruins of the Eastern Front in Red Orchestra 2: Heroes of Stalingrad. The single player in Red Orchestra 2 features two perspectives, German and Russian. Within both campaigns, players experience the epic battle for Stalingrad firsthand and the up-close realities of urban warfare in the Eastern Front. Each mission involves clearing and capturing objectives as well as defending against enemy counterattacks, similar to a King of the Hill scenario. The single-player element of the game is more of an extended obligatory tutorial that introduces the basics of the game. It serves as a way to familiarize players with Red Orchestra 2's realistic weapons handling and cover system.
Don't let him get past us!
RO2 also features a tactical squad element, something most gamers might not have been prepared for. The game encourages players to utilize various strategies, such as fire and maneuver, in order to overcome the enemy. Squads feature a realistic range of classes, such as riflemen, assault, sniper, machine guns, engineers, anti-tank, and tank crews, all of which are at the player's disposal depending on the mission. The individual classes provide unique gameplay experiences, as each serve a particular role within their strengths and weaknesses. Unfortunately, the AI is a bit of a disappointment in Red Orchestra 2. In some cases, friendly bots will crowd your cover, which defeats the purpose of concealment. They will also run into your line of sight in the middle of a firefight. In certain missions where defense is crucial, the AI sometimes refuses to follow orders and won't defend an objective. Though Red Orchestra 2 is more of a multiplayer-centric game, a more functional AI would have been appreciated in the campaigns, making the squad element more convincing. But if you're going to pick up and play RO2, the multiplayer is a wonderfully obligatory experience. It features several modes, including the basic firefight and the popular territory mode, which involves capturing and defending objectives. Servers allow up to 64 players per map, and players will be able to play as infantry squads as well as tank squads, making this one of the most expansive online experiences of the generation. As you play, the multiplayer features an unlock system that allows you to get new weapons and upgrades. Instead of ranks, there is an honor level system. Overall, the multiplayer is chock full of potential and will drain hours of your time. Red Orchestra 2 has some pretty serious breakthroughs for video games. The cover system is a high point of praise. Once in cover, players will be able to either blind fire, and this is a completely blind fire feature. There is no general aiming area given to the player, or the player can pop out and aim at enemies. This system also allows players to deploy weapons with bipod attachments, such as light machine guns and anti-tank rifles, adding to the realism and the effective use of the environment. The combat system brings realism to a whole new level, especially while handling weapons. There is never a target reticle or a user interface displaying ammo count, which screams realism in Fog of War. Instead, players will need to periodically check and guesstimate the amount of ammo left in a clip, as well as utilize iron sights for aiming. Melee, however, is a little rough, as it can delay in response, or simply not execute, especially while reloading. By far, our favorite feature of the game is tank combat. Within the tank, players can play as the commander, main gunner, machine gunner, and driver. This feature shines particularly in the multiplayer, as you will have to work as a team to be an effective tank crew on the battlefield. As characteristic of tank warfare, players will have to find and aim at weak points in order to score kills without wasting valuable ammunition. Similar to infantry weapons, players who play as the main gunner will have to estimate target range and ballistic drop, and adjust the gun accordingly to compensate. A nice enhancement to the experience is the gory realism. Explosions from grenades and tank shells can dismember soldiers. Headshots leave large stains on the walls. Wounded soldiers cry out in agony and choke on their own blood. Depending on the severity of your wound, you can bandage it to prevent blood loss. If you fail to treat your wound, you will eventually black out and die. The best way to characterize the overall experience of Red Orchestra 2 is realism to the nth degree. From the graphically detailed ruins of Stalingrad to the intricacies of weapons and tank warfare and the sounds of war, the developers at Tripwire have given us a renewed appreciation for the World War II first-person shooter genre. One can only hope that they carry this idea to cover other theaters of war, such as World War II Pacific and Western Europe. Though there are minor bugs and problems with the AI, all of which may be remedied with patches, this game is potentially one of the finest shooters in years.
Let up.